Hi, I'm Rebecca Ball-Carcel. Let's take a look at My Last Duchess, a poem by Robert Browning. Now, this poem is a dramatic monologue, and that means that it's a character who is speaking to us in the poem. So it's the words of the character. And he's Italian because it says Ferrara underneath the title, which refers to a place in Italy, a region of Italy. And notice that the title says My Last Duchess, and it means my last one, the previous Duchess. And so he's going to talk about his previous Duchess. So let's see what he has to say. He says, "That's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive." Now that line seems sort of strange because of course she would look as if she's alive in a painting, but the fact is she's not alive, so that's why he says that. "I call that a piece of wonder now. Fra Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands." Fra Pandolf is the artist who painted this woman, the Duchess, and he is a fictional person, but the poet has decided to just make up sort of an Italian painter-sounding name. And notice that the man talking, the Duke, is name-dropping here. He is saying, I know this artist, I'm such a classy guy, I'm so rich and everything. I had her painted by this artist, whose name you'll probably recognize, that kind of thing. So it shows a bit of snobbiness. He goes on and says, "Wilt please you sit and look at her?" So he's asking his listener to sit down. So that tells us there's two people here, a listener and then this Duke who's talking about, for some reason, his previous wife. And we'll find out what that reason is. He says, "I said Fra Pandolf by design, on purpose, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. But to myself they turned, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I, and seemed as they would ask me, if they durst, how such a glance came there. So, not the first are you to turn and ask thus." This long section is the Duke saying, okay, everybody who sees this painting asks me who painted it. So that's one of the things he's saying. But he also mentions this curtain that he himself has to pull back in order to reveal the painting. So it's under his control whether people see her or not. And that's not how it was when she was living, as he will explain. And notice too that he says some people don't dare ask him who painted it. If they durst, that's the past tense of dare. So some people are too afraid of him to ask who painted it. And why is he a scary person? Well, I think we're starting to see that he at least is controlling. He put the painting behind a curtain, and we're going to find out more about his personality as we go. So he continues, "Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek." So he says that spot of joy on her cheek that you see in the painting is caused not only by her husband's presence. She likes other things too. Other things make her cheeks glow. For example, and then he talks about the painter who might have said some compliments to her while the painting was being painted. And he doesn't think that that should bring up this spot of joy in her cheek. He's annoyed with that. And he says that she thinks maybe the painter's just being courteous, just being sweet. But he doesn't like it. And so he's criticizing that. He says, perhaps Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much. So her mantle, her cloak thing. Or, paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along that throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. Now he complains about her more directly. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whate'er she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. So he does not approve of the fact that she's easily impressed, that she's easily made happy. He thinks that she should be more discerning, I guess, or discriminating. Or maybe he really thinks that only his presence should make her happy. And her looks shouldn't go everywhere. She should be looking at him. She should be happy only with his presence. He's pretty self-centered. Now he says, Sir, 'twas all one, meaning it was all the same to her. My favor at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode round the terrace, all and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. So he lists all these different things that make her happy, the horse and the sunset, and he thinks that his presence should make her happier than all those other things. He says, my favor at her breast, meaning his favor as in his regard for her, his attention to her, and the fact that he chose her, that should make her happy, not these other things. You can see he's a pretty strict kind of husband, and he's mostly wanting to control her. Now he admits she thanked men good, but thanked somehow, I don't know how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. So he thinks his heritage, his family name, is such a valuable thing that she should rank that the highest joy. She instead ranks it the same as other people's gifts. So he does not like that, does not approve of that. Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling? So he admits that maybe some people would call this a trifling matter, an unimportant matter, something that shouldn't bother him. But he says, well, who would stoop to blame? He says, well, I would like to tell her how she should behave. So he says, even if you had skill in speech, which I have not, he says, to make your will, that means what you want, quite clear to such an one, and say, just this or that in you disgusts me, or here you miss or there exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessoned so, nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, even then would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop. This is a little bit complicated. He's saying, even if I could tell her what she ought to do, I wouldn't stoop to do that. She should know how to behave. I shouldn't have to tell her. And he says that even if she would let herself be taught, be lessoned, that means be given lessons, he still wouldn't like it. Or even if she was cooperative, he still wouldn't like it. He doesn't want to have to teach her. He wants her to know how to behave and to just all on her own value him more than anything else. Then he says, oh, sir, she smiled no doubt whene'er I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? So, yes, she smiled at me, but I want her smile for me to be special. She shouldn't smile at just everybody. So it sounds like she's pretty cheerful, a happy person. She smiles at people, she thanks people, and he does not like it. He's that jealous. He's that controlling. Maybe he's even a little insecure. I don't know. The poem doesn't have enough evidence for that. But he certainly wants to keep a tight grip on her. So he says, this grew. So this behavior of hers grew. It got even worse. I gave commands, he says. Then all smiles stopped together. So this sinister line reveals that he has had her killed. He gave commands, and her smiles stopped altogether. There she stands, as if alive. Oh my gosh. So now think about the audience. This guy who's listening to the Duke, he must be kind of freaked out by now. And the Duke says to him, wilt please you to rise? So let's stand up now. We'll meet the company below then. Okay, so now he's giving us a little more information. We'll meet the company below means that they've been upstairs. Now they're going to go downstairs, probably to the main floor. We're going to meet the company, meaning he has company, he has guests. So we'll meet that whole group of people downstairs. And now we're going to find out why this man was even shown the painting, why the Duke has even been going on like this. He says, the Count, your master's known munificence, is ample warrant that no pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed. So he says, the Count is your master. So now we understand that he's been talking to this representative of the Count. So this man works for the Count. And the Count is going to offer his daughter in marriage to this Duke. So this Duke wants to marry the Count's daughter, and he says that the dowry better be good. Now, the dowry is a sum of money or valuables that are given with the bride in marriage, because the bride, of course, being unable to support herself in this time period, will cost him money to house and clothe and have all her life. So the father will give this extra wealth for taking care of the woman, the new Duchess. And he says a little arm twisting line here when he says, oh, your count has munificence. That means he's known to be a grand and gracious man, and of course he'll offer plenty of money for the dowry, won't he? So we see that this man is controlling not only with women, but also he wants this count to be sure and put enough money into the dowry. He wants to control the count a little bit too. Now he goes on, though his daughter's fair self, as I avowed at starting, is my object. So he says, of course, what I want is the daughter, not just the money, but, of course it'll be a good dowry, won't it? Nay, we'll go together down, sir, he says. So apparently this listener has started down the stairs, and the Duke says, wait, stop, we'll go together. So now the Duke is controlling this guy. He seems to just want to micromanage everybody. So don't go yet, I'm coming, let's go down together. And then the last couple lines he says, notice Neptune, though taming a seahorse, thought a rarity, which Klaus in Innsbruck cast in bronze for me. So this means that he's pointing out a piece of art, a bronze sculpture that this artist Klaus of Innsbruck, which is a fictitious name. Again, the poet just wants it to sound like a plausible name for a sculptor. And again, the Duke is name dropping, like, oh, I'm sure you've heard of this sculptor, and I got him to cast this piece of art for me. And notice what the art is. It's the king of the sea, Neptune, is taming a seahorse. Taming is exactly what this Duke keeps trying to do to his duchesses, to other people. He wants to control them, guide them, train them to behave the way he likes. So that's an appropriate image to have in his house. He's also pointing out how he likes to possess pretty things. So he has the painting, he has this sculpture, now he wants this new Duchess. He seems possessive here. Not just a guy who likes art, but a man who wants to possess it. And especially with the Duchess, wants to control her. Now, I'm also going to mention that the poet has accomplished something quite interesting here. We see that this whole talk was not just for the sake of chit-chat. This was a threat. We understand this character, this Duke, to be making a threat because he says, if this new Duchess doesn't behave, she's going to end up like the last Duchess. My previous Duchess, who's here on the wall as if she's alive, but we know what happened to her. So the poet has managed to hide this information and yet reveal it at the same time, making the Duke into this sinister character who is going to get what he wants one way or another. So the psychology is the cool thing about this poem. Now we can also point out some technical stuff, like the fact that every single line has 10 syllables, or at least I didn't count them all, but that's the pattern of most of the lines have 10 syllables. And there's a rhyme pattern as well. I didn't emphasize the rhyming parts, but we have I gave commands, there she stands. There are sets of twos throughout, couplets that rhyme. So Robert Browning has done a technical feat here, but more impressive to me is the psychological feat. He managed to paint the picture of this weird, murderous, controlling, possessive husband, and that is scary and creepy. So I think that's the effect that Browning was going for. All right, I hope you enjoyed exploring this poem with me, and you'll join me for another video sometime.